Hello everyone and welcome to class. Today we will be looking at time signatures. So at the end of this class, it is expected that each and every one of you should be able to define a time signature and also describe the symbols used to express time signatures with examples, of course. Okay, so first question is, what is a time signature? It's simple, really. First of all, time signatures are symbols. Okay, a time signature is a symbol or a collection of symbols. What do these symbols do? They indicate the time or the rhythm of a musical piece. Okay, time signatures give you an indication of the time or the rhythm of a song. In very simple terms, time signature gives you an indication of the beat that should be behind the song. Okay, so that's exactly what a time signature is. Time signatures are symbols which indicate the time or rhythm of a song. Now, they are usually written at the beginning of the staff, but not just at the beginning of the staff. Usually you find them at the beginning of the staff after the clef. Okay, so where do we find time signatures written? They are written at the beginning of the staff after the clef. So this brings us to our first quiz. What is a time signature? If you have been following me, I'm sure you know already that time signatures are symbols which indicate the time or rhythm of a song. And we know that time signatures are written at the beginning of the staff just after the clef. Now let's look at the symbols used to express time signatures. In other words, when you want to write a time signature, what are the symbols that you are going to use? Okay, the symbols that we use to express time signatures are, first of all, alphabets, and secondly, numbers. So we can use alphabets to express time signature. We can also use numbers. Okay, so let's go on to look at examples where alphabets are used to express time signature. Actually, it's just one alphabet that is used, and that alphabet is the letter C. Okay, let me jump down to this example right here. In this example right here, you see the letter C right here. Okay, and every time you see that C, actually what it means is common time. It stands for common time. Now if you were to translate this alphabet into figures, okay, it would be equivalent to 4-4. Another example of the use of alphabets is right here. Same letter C, but this time with a line running through it. Okay, now this symbol is known as the alabreve or the cut time. And if we were to translate the alabreve into figures, it would be equivalent to 2-2. Okay, think about it. If you take 4-4 and cut it in the middle, right, it should give you something like a 2-2, right? Just joking anyway. Alright, so let's go on. Now I've seen how we can use alphabets to express time signatures. Okay, and we said that alphabet usually would be the letter C. Let's take a look at how we can use figures to express time signatures. When we use figures to express time signatures, these figures are used in pairs, and usually one figure is written above the other. You would probably have noticed that there is no bar between both figures, as this would indicate a fraction and not a time signature. What do I mean by that? If I were to write this as 2 and then I put a bar and another 2, now this is a fraction. This is not a time signature. If I were to write this as a time signature, then I'll write it as 2, 2. See, there's no bar between both of them. Okay, now this is a time signature. Okay, so when you use figures, usually you do not put a bar between them, even though they are written one above the other, just like you would have in a fraction. Examples of time signatures with figures would include 4-4. Now again, you see that it's pronounced as 4-4 and not 4/4. Now this is 2-2 and here we would have a 3-4. Okay, so in summary today, or just before we go to the summary, I'm sorry, what are the common symbols we use to express time signatures? We use alphabets and figures. Okay, this time signature we said is known as the cut time or the alabrive, and we said this time signature is equivalent in figures to a 2-2. Okay, this time signature is known as the common time, and it is equivalent to a 4-4. In summary today, we have been able to take a look at time signatures. We see that time signatures can be expressed using figures or alphabets. When we have figures, usually one figure is written on top of the other. Okay, and for alphabets, usually we have the letter C or some variant of it. Here we have what is known as the cut time or the alabrive, and here we have what is known as the common time. So what next we'll see, we'll take it up from here. See you in the next class.